Oh my gosh, I totally love him.
And I'm crazy about her.
I'd like to send a dozen of those to the best girl at my school.
These for your wife?
I'm 10 years old.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize.
Valentine's Day is about anger, love,
Romance. Mating.
discretion, commitment.
Today we have in the studio joining us Mr. Casey Lartigue, and he is the Director for International Relations at the Centre for Free Enterprise in Seoul, a contributor to the Korea Times, Korea Herald, and other major media outlets throughout Asia and the United States. Now, he's joining us today because there was recently an article that he wrote entitled Love versus Economics on Valentine's Day. So let's welcome him to the studio. Thank you for joining us, Casey.
Hey, thanks for inviting me. Pleased to be here.
It's our pleasure to have you here on Valentine's Day. Now, very briefly, the article that you wrote was that it's more damaging or more harmful to the economy if you buy someone an unwanted gift that's then later returned.
Yes. Well, let's start with the U.S. as a base for this. In America, people spend about $18 billion during this month to celebrate Valentine's Day. That's on jewelry, dinner, candy, clothes, greeting cards, all those kinds of things. So it's about $125 per person.
18 billion.
Yes, right. Oh, yeah. People go crazy during this time. Now, economists will look at this and say that actually it's a waste. And the reason,
Really?
Yes, and the reason that it's a waste is that
Give it to me.
well, okay, well, well, the reason that it's a waste is that the best gift to give someone is cash.
Oh, but that's really, it's Valentine's Day. That's so unromantic.
Sure, exactly.
I love you, baby. Have a 50. I mean, how would you feel if, your significant other just opened their wallet on Valentine's Day?
Yeah, well, exactly. Well, that's one of the issues that the economists will look at because they'll say that cash is the most efficient gift that you can give someone. Because think back in your life, there have been times that people have given you gifts and you've looked at it and said, well, you shouldn't have.
Literally.
You really,
and you
I'm
meant it.
speechless.
Yeah. Yes.
There are no words to describe
Exactly.
my feelings.
I really don't want this. And how many times have you given gifts to people and at the same time said, by the way, the gift receipt is inside?
A
yes.
few. Well, it really depends on how well I know the person. But I always think Valentine's Day should be different because surely, this is the person you love
Sure.
and you know them and you should know their tastes.
Sometimes you can make that mistake, though.
Yeah, that's a
I
good
guess
point.
something that I think about with that, though, that it has developed the idea of re-gifting. If I get a gift that I don't like, I'll just wrap it up and give it to somebody else.
Right.
But from an economic standpoint, obviously, that's not doing a lot for the economy.
Exactly. Well, if you had given money in the first place, then there would be no need to re-gift. That's the argument that the economists are making. So the waste comes about in giving people items that they don't want. And that even includes gift certificates because a lot of gift certificates end up not being used. And a lot of them have expiration dates on them. So in the end, you're giving gifts to people that they don't want. Now, one of the issues that economists look at is whether or not Valentine's Day is actually a boost to the economy. And this is one of those things that depends on who you are. So if you are a florist or selling candy today and this week and
You're
this
making
month,
bucket loads
this
of money.
is your time.
Yeah.
If you're a restaurant, maybe?
Yes, exactly. All of these are making more money during this time. So people will say that, hey, yeah, this is great for us. And of course, like the florists and candy sellers, they'll be waiting outside for me trying to, readjust the kinds of things that I'm saying. Now, economists will say that you have to look at something different, and there are two different things. The first thing is the substitution effect. Now, this sounds like a difficult term, but all it means is that you substitute one gift for another. So instead of buying a gift for your girlfriend or your wife or your husband or boyfriend, whoever, in November, you'll save up because you know that Christmas and Valentine's are Judgment Day.
Oh, so you're not spending money at other times of
Right.
the year so that you can splurge on
Exactly.
this one special day.
Right. So they're saying you're going to spend money anyway. So it's all concentrated in one day. And people say, hey, see, this is a great thing for the economy. Now, the second thing that economists will point to is something that's called dead weight loss. Now, for example, let's just say that Annabelle wanted to buy Sam a brand new tie. And she spent, let's say, 50,000 won. And Sam is saying, well, 10,000 won is enough for me from like the ajushi on the street.
I'll tell you what, that's a lie. I'll tell you what right now. If I got him a $50 tie, he'd be like looking it up online going, $50? Are you kidding me? No.
No, that's funny. Well, economists will look at that and say that's a 40,000 won loss for the economy because he could have bought 5 ties or he could have bought like a video game, as you mentioned earlier. So he could actually buy the thing that he wants. So economists aren't saying what's good or bad. They're saying it's a loss to the economy.
Now, obviously, this isn't just for Valentine's Day, though. Could we not also say that this is the same for other events like Christmas, Mother's Day, and whatnot?
Sure. In fact, there was a book written called Scrooge-onomics. And in the book, he said that in 2007, Americans spent $66 billion on Christmas gifts. But, and I don't know exactly how he came to this, but he said that the recipients appreciated it, or they valued it at $54 billion.
Where'd the rest of the money go?
Well, it's a loss of $12 billion. This is what the economists are saying, that I give you something that you don't value, that's a loss for the economy.
Like you would have gone and spent, if you'd had the cash instead, you would have gone and spent that somewhere else.
Exactly, more efficiently and actually gotten something you want. So that's why there's some people who even attack Christmas as being a big drag on the economy.
Well, I say that's why you have to make a list for your boyfriend or your husband or your mother and your father, and you say stick to the list and the list only. I see, I've learned.
I guess I'm kind of got an economic mindset.
Are you a Scrooge?
No, because when I was younger, my mum bought me gifts and I thought, this is horrible, and I threw it in the back of my cupboard and never wore it. So I started making lists and said, this is what I want.
Yes.
Pick something off the list. But as I hear you say this, the other thing I'm thinking is there's a split. You've got the economists on one side, you've got the marketers on another side. Because something like Valentine's Day, if you're in marketing, is a huge boom, and it's something you look forward to.
It's Christmas. It's Christmas.
Exactly. Christmas Day, Mother's Day.
Romantic Christmas.
It must, I guess it's difficult. I come from a marketing background, so I'm like, there's so many ways you can play this, and particularly here in Korea, we've got White Day next month, and then we've got, what's Black Day the month after.
Right.
Black Day is only really a boom for the people selling black bean noodles.
I guess, it kind of eliminates the rest of the party, doesn't it?
Oh.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Now, the thing about Korea, obviously, Korea is a country where lots of people give gifts. It is a gift-giving culture. But also, a lot of people here give money for different occasions, for different celebrations. So
It's true. I got, weddings, money, and first birthday parties, money, funerals, money.
Right. Yeah, and that kind of thing might not seem, I guess, sentimental or romantic. Now, there are 2 things that economists will say. First of all, there's something called the signaling theory, and it sounds a little difficult, but all it means is the signal that you give to another person. So it sounds more complicated than it is. And the second term is asymmetric information, which again sounds difficult, but it's not. All it means is that one person has more information than the other person. So let's say, for example, that you have one guy, he's like a playboy. He knows he's a playboy. He knows he's not serious about this woman or another woman. The woman may not know that. So he has more information than she does. And it can go the other way. She could have a boyfriend and not tell him. So in that case, she has more information than he does. The important thing about Valentine's and other occasions that you might want to give a gift is that with that imbalance in information, with one person knowing more than the other, the recipient wants a gift, so you're showing your intentions. You're showing that you have some desire to have a more serious relationship.
So it's not even maybe about the gift at all, but what the gift represents.
Exactly, yes. So that's why economists will also say that, yes, cash is the best gift. But it depends on the relationship. So, for example, your relationship with your boss, you don't want him to pay you in wrestling tickets, okay?
No, unless you're a big wrestling fan.
Unless you're a big wrestling fan. You want cash. Children
Every
want
time.
cash. Yeah, older people seem to want cash. Maybe they're tired of getting gifts that they don't want. So economists will say that if you're starting a brand new relationship, you need to send a signal to the other person. And one way you do that is by giving them a gift. So that's why they'll say that the best, most efficient gift is cash, depending on the relationship that you have and the point that you've gotten to in it.
So, I mean, technically, in an economic standpoint, it would be a great idea to give cash on Valentine's Day. But when you're signaling to a certain someone about how much you like them, cash is not always a good idea.
Yes, especially in the beginning, definitely.
But I do quite like the thing in Korea of where people just tend to give chocolate. Like it hasn't
Yes.
necessarily moved beyond like the whole jewelry or lingerie or underwear. Like it's just chocolate. Give them
Right.
chocolate and you're done.
Right.
Don't
yes.
even need to go out
Keep
for a
it
meal.
simple, keep it cheap. Definitely something to take on board today with a day like Valentine's Day, but not just Valentine's Day, all the other events that are coming up. We've got Children's Day, Parents' Day, we've got birthdays, Christmas, Easter, whatever else you can think of.
Chuseok.
Yeah, Chuseok Sol. Casey, thank you so much for joining us today. Unfortunately, we are out of time here, but very interesting points that you brought to the table.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let her know how much you care. When she can't be with you, tell her you wish you were there.